Thomas Müller, the space ghost. Thomas Müller doesn't run into space, he haunts it. While defenders chase the ball like loyal guard dogs, Müller studies the field like a detective examining a crime scene. He's scanning for patterns, for shadows, for the tiny cracks in defensive lines that appear for half a heartbeat, and he slides into them before anyone else even realizes they existed. He doesn't explode past defenders, he dissolves from their vision. One moment he's jogging casually, looking almost bored, floating between lines like he's killing time at the bus stop. The next moment he appears unmarked in the penalty area, a ghost materializing exactly where the ball is about to arrive. Not because he's lucky, but because he's already predicted the ending of the possession long before anyone else saw the beginning. Most players move based on instructions. Müller moves based on intuition or witchcraft. It's hard to tell. You can assign a man marker, you can prepare a detailed plan, you can tell your defenders don't let him disappear, and still he vanishes. You cannot mark a ghost. The man who breaks XG without breaking a sweat. Expected goals were invented for clarity. Müller turned them into abstract art. Coaches and analysts want football to make sense. They want neatly labeled scoring probabilities, beautifully graphed shot maps, and linear logic. Then Müller wanders in and casually detonates the entire statistical universe. Season after season, he outperforms XG like he's ignoring the laws of probability out of pure disrespect. Not because he bends physics, but because he rewrites the terms of engagement. He sneaks into angles defenders forget, arrives in corridors algorithms don't track, and finishes chances right as the model screams, no rational attacker would be there. Exactly. Müller is not rational. He's efficient. One analytics team once compared him to a human optimization algorithm, but that wasn't accurate. Müller isn't optimizing football, he's bending it. He doesn't create high XG chances, he becomes high XG. His movement is so atypical that defensive systems fail not because they're poorly designed, but because they were designed for normal players. And Müller, despite looking like one, doesn't behave like one. He is the statistical anomaly that refuses to regress to the mean. The silent conductor. Most players shout instructions. Müller runs an orchestra without a word. He uses gestures like a composer and micro movements like Morse code. A point here, a nod there. And Bayern instantly shifts shape as if the entire team just received a tactical download. Young Bayern players talk about him like an invisible GPS tower, always broadcasting, always directing, always syncing the squad without speaking. In Bayern's legendary 8-2 demolition of Barcelona, Müller didn't just score. He conducted chaos. Every time Bayern attacked, he set the timing, the tempo, the spacing, all without shouting. He simply moved, and everyone else followed the gravity of his decisions. To defenders, it looks like improvisation. To Bayern, it's choreography. He stands at the center of every movement pattern, not because he demands the ball, but because he directs the rhythm of the match. Opponents don't hear him. They only feel the consequences. World class by being technically average. Football is obsessed with specialists. The fastest sprinter, the strongest dribbler, the cleanest passer, the deadliest finisher. Müller is none of these, and yet he is world class at the one thing specialists can't replicate: decision making under pressure. He's like a Swiss Army knife that doesn't excel in any one tool, but becomes priceless because it always offers exactly what the moment requires. Timing, positioning, awareness, subtlety. These aren't flashy attributes, but they're devastating when combined. Watch him in the 2014 World Cup. He wasn't Germany's most elegant player. He wasn't even the most talented attacker, but he was the most decisive. 5 goals, 3 assists, endless damage. He doesn't dominate defenders physically. He outnumbers them mentally. World class, not because of what he does, but because of when he decides to do it. High-speed chess with one touch. Most attackers need extra touches to process a situation. Müller processes before the ball even reaches him. Analysts studied his decision frames, the microseconds between ball arrival and action selection. They discovered Müller plays at a cognitive frame rate that makes defenders feel like they're moving underwater. He sees the entire possession tree like a grandmaster scanning multiple branches 3 moves ahead. One-touch layoffs, disguised passes, instant combinations, all emerging from a brain running faster than the match itself. Other players react to pressure. Müller anticipates it and uses it to redirect the attack. Football is chaos. Müller is the man who reads patterns in chaos. He manipulates defenders without touching the ball. He manipulates the match by touching it once. The efficiency monster. Sports science loves metrics. Impact per meter covered, distance to action ratios, sprint efficiency indexes. Müller breaks these metrics so badly that analysts occasionally wonder if their tracking system malfunctioned. He runs less than most midfielders. He sprints less than most forwards, yet he racks up more expected threat per run than almost any elite attacker. Because he doesn't waste movement, he invests it. Every run he makes has purpose, dragging defenders, opening lanes, triggering press patterns, or arriving at the exact spot for a seemingly effortless tap-in. He's the master of minimalism, a destroyer who prefers scalpel over sledgehammer. While others burn stamina on meaningless sprints, Müller waits, and then moves exactly once, and scores. The teammate multiplier. Some players need great teammates to thrive. Müller makes teammates great. Lewandowski had his best scoring seasons with Müller beside him, not by accident, but by design. Müller's movements pulled defenders away like magnets losing polarity, leaving Lewandowski oceans of space. Gnabry's explosion, Sané's resurgence, even aging strikers who looked past their peak suddenly came alive next to him. Müller manipulates defensive structures with microscopic adjustments. He positions himself between lines to freeze center backs, shifts sideways to open corridors for wingers, and creates overloads simply by existing in the right zone. He doesn't just play football, he edits football. The Joker who weaponizes chaos. Müller smiles. He jokes. He yells nonsense. He grins during high-pressure presses. Defenders hate it. Is he making fun of them? Is he distracting them? And is he pretending to be confused? Or is he genuinely confused for comedic effect? No one knows. Psychologists call it cognitive misdirection. Opponents call it deeply annoying. Müller breaks tension while manufacturing unpredictability. He derails defenders' focus with his personality, then punishes them with his timing. He is football's only comedic assassin. The Tournament Terminator. Tournaments are chaos incarnate. Short preparation, unfamiliar opponents, high stakes, unstable systems. Perfect conditions for Müller. He thrives in unpredictability. He excels when teams don't have time to prepare for him. He dominates when defensive structures collapse under pressure. 2010 World Cup. 5 goals, 3 assists. 2014 World Cup. 5 goals again, and pivotal influence in almost every match. He isn't built for league consistency. He's built for knockout devastation. Some players disappear under the weight of a World Cup. Müller grows stronger. The low input, high output paradox. Müller touches the ball fewer than nearly every elite attacker, yet generates more final third impact. He doesn't care about involvement. He cares about significance. A single touch can open a passing lane. Another creates a cutback. Another finishes a sequence he anticipated minutes earlier. Every touch is a calculated incision. He doesn't dominate games. He dominates key moments, and those decide everything. Predictable to teammates, impossible to predict for opponents. This is Müller's ultimate paradox. Teammates always know where he'll be. They trust his patterns because his movement has internal logic, but defenders, they only understand what he did after VAR shows the replay. Predictable to friends, unpredictable to enemies. A dual-layered cognitive glitch in football's system. The prototype of football IQ. Modern football worships athletic monsters. Müller survives, even thrives, by being the opposite. 8 Bayern managers, 3 tactical eras, multiple squad rebuilds, dozens of stylistic shifts. He survived all of them because intelligence ages better than pace, instincts outlive dribbling, and decision-making outperforms aesthetics. He is proof that the future of football may not belong to those who run fastest, but to those who think fastest. Thomas Müller isn't just an outlier. He's a blueprint, a prototype, a new model for what the modern attacker can become. The Raumdeuter, the Space Ghost, the cognitive weapon football never meant to create, but desperately needs.